later.
So what's up mga ka-Ayahs? It's your teacher Ayah, Circle Gently, rapping from Dasma, online studies the name of the game, and if you subscribe to our lesson, I promise to keep you. So this is the second week of the second quarter, and let's watch this video tutorial.
2,000 years later.
So for week 2 in Philippine politics and governance under the second quarter, it is all about the legislative branch of the Philippine government. So yung module number 1 natin, yun yung executive branch. So ito naman is legislative branch. So I know that you're aware about the legislative branch. So legislative, it is the branch of the government in the Philippines. That has a role of making laws, amending laws, repealing or modifying laws. So, i-discuss natin to very detailed. So, I know that you're familiar. So, sa news, na makikita nyo, mapapanood nyo yung ating, this is the Congress, no, in Batasang Pambansa, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. So, dito sila meeting, nagkakaroon ng debate when it comes to making or bill, having a bill to make it a law. So, didiscuss natin yan dito. So, let's define first what are laws. So, laws, it means these are the rules of conduct or action prescribed in a formally recognized binding and controlling authority. So, ito yung mga batas. So, basically, legislative branch, sila yung nakaatang gumawa ng mga batas. And the priority of the lawmaking body, the legislative, meron tayong tatlo dito. No? First, prevention of lawlessness. So, di ba yung sa ating first quarter, no? The anarchism or the anarchy. No? Di ba yun yung parang lawlessness government. So, gusto ma-prevent ng legislative branch no ang chaos, no, elimination of chaos, at the same time, the regulation of human behavior and conduct. So, to create peace, order, and authority in the government in the Philippines. So, ganun ka-importante yung mga batas. To obey the rules, no, to organize the society and the government. So, legislature. So, kung babalikan natin yung first quarter, di ba, kung matatandaan nyo, the Jones Law of 1916, no, it is the law created under the American regime in the Philippines, no, the the bicameral system of government, di ba? Kaya nagkaroon ng Senate at ng House of Representatives. No? Pero meron tayong two types of legislature. Pero here in the Philippines, ang umiiral sa atin ay ang bicameral. From the word itself, bicameral, to the Senate and the House of Representatives. No? Pero meron pa tayong tinatawag na unicameral or the unicameralism. So pag sinabi natin unicameralism, kung nababasa nyo dyan, syempre, uni meaning one. So, it's about only one house or assembly. No, merong mga bansa outside the Philippines, of course, na nagkakaroon ng system ng unicameral. So, isang body lang yung kumakatawan or yung gumagawa ng batas. No? Bigyan natin ng example. Kagaya sa UK or the United Kingdom, in the US, no? More on may mga bicameral din. Pero ang certain unicameral kasi parang it is very rare to find na mahirap kasi na isang body lang sa legislature ang kumikilos. No, kasi lagyan natin ng example. During the Marcos regime, no, yung martial law, naging unicameral system ang legislature dito sa Pilipinas. So the decision-making body for laws, no, is Marcos as the dictator. No, unicameral ibig sabihin, isa lang yung gumagawa, isa lang yung nagdedesisyon, isa lang yung gumagawa ng batas. Di ba? Kasi ang purpose kasi nito, no, kaya daw unicameral, bakit gusto nila isang body lang ng legislature yung gagawa ng batas? Siyempre, para iwas yung time. Di ba mahaba yung pagdesisyon kapag dalawa, ang daming boboto, ang daming magpuprotesta, ang daming process. Pag kasi unicameral lang, mabilis ang paggawa ng batas. Pulido, mabilis, matipid. no? Pero pag kasi bicameral kasi, dalawa, magastos, mabagal yung processing, tumatagal ng ilang buwan yung paggawa ng batas, pag-approve ng batas. Pero ang disadvantage lamang ng unicameral, no, sa pagmamadali ng batas, no, medyo hindi nagiging solid or nagiging parang minadali lang yung batas. Parang yun yung gustong palabasin ng bicameral. Kasi sa bicameral, syempre, the more na mahaba yung process, the more na madamay yung nakikritik. Diba nandiyan ang Senate, nandiyan ang House of Representatives. No, kung madami yung nakikritik, kung madami yung gumagawa ng batas, no, mas mapapag-isipan or mapaglalaanan ng desisyon. The decision-making process naman daw yung bawi ng bicameral. No, is the modern period, no, Singapore is a unicameral system of government. No, kung makikita nyo ngayon yung paraan o ang sistema ng gobyerno sa Singapore, no, it is very progressive. No, talagang magandang gobyerno sa Singapore. No, kahit unicameral lang siya. Pero kasi yung unicameral system, hindi siya applicable sa lahat ng bansa. So nakadepende pa rin sa bansa, sa sistema, sa pangangailangan ng tao, no, kung ito ba ay approved or applicable na pairalin sa gobyerno ng isang bansa. So for the Philippines, mas okay sa atin ang bicameral system. Mas okay na marami ang nagdedesisyon ng paggawa ng batas. Mas okay na mahaba ang proseso para mapag-isipan at mapaglaanan ng desisyon. So, ganun yung pagkakaiba ng unicameral at ng bicameral. No? So, bicameral, dalawa, no? The Senate and the House of Representatives. Sa unicameral, pwede nang pag-isahin, pwedeng konti, pwedeng Senate lang or pwedeng House of Representative lang. No? Pero rare ang mga unicameral system. No? Sa tingin ko kasi, itong unicameral system, no, nababasa ko, yung gumagamit daw yung unicameral, ito yung mga bansa na maliliit daw. Pero hindi naman lahat ng maliliit na bansa ay may unicameral system. At hindi lahat ng malaking bansa ay may unicameral din. So it depends really on the kung swak ba ito dun sa government or sa pangangailangan ng tao. So that's the differences between the two types of legislature. Next, okay, so punta tayo ngayon dun sa Congress. So Congress, nahati siya sa dalawa, which is the Senate of the Philippines. No? So Senate of the Philippines is composed of 24 senators. So tandaan nyo ang Senate, ito ang upper house of the bicameral legislature in the Philippines. No? At yung House of Representatives, ito naman yung lower house or mababang kapulungan. So the Senate in the Philippines is composed of 24 senators. No? And tandaan nyo na ang term ng isang senador, the term of office is 6 years with 2 consecutive terms. Ibig sabihin yan, sa isang term, 3 years. Sa susunod na term, 3 years, kaya 6 years. So, dalawang beses lang pwedeng tumakbo ang isang senador. No? So, kaya 6 years yon. No, and according to Article 6 or the legislative branch in the 1987 Philippines Constitution, Section 4, that voluntary renunciation of the office for any length of time shall not be considered an interruption in the continuity of his service. So, ibig sabihin, may possibility na hindi naman pwede mag-extend, di ba, yung termino ng isang senator. Pero kung ba pinalipas ang ilang taon para ulit makatakbo siya, 'di ba? Sa susunod na pagiging senador, pwede yan ba tumigal ng 10 years. Pero na-expire na yung term niya. So pwede siya ulit tumakbo after 10 years. No, pero wala dapat yung interruption. So that's the definition for Senate. So 24. So ito naman ang qualifications. Kung sa executive, may qualification ng president and the vice president. For the senators, ito ang kanyang qualifications. No? First, of course, he or she must be a natural-born citizen of the Philippines. Hindi na iba yan, di ba? At least 35 years old of age, is able to read and write, a registered voter, and a resident of the Philippines for not less than 2 years before election day. Kung sa president and the vice president dapat 10 years. Dito sa senator, dapat ang residency in the Philippines 2 years, no? Para siya ay maging isa or mahalal na senator. And these people, these are the present senators of the Philippines. So insert natin dito si Senator Leila de Lima na nasa prison and Senator Manny Pacquiao. So sila ang bumubuo sa ating 18th Congress. So tandaan nyo, no? 18th Congress na tayo. No? 24 senators. And punta tayo ngayon sa House of Representatives. Ito yung mababang kapulungan. So, obviously, House of Representatives composed of representatives. No, yung mga kinatawan mula sa iba't ibang distrito sa mga lalawigan sa buong Pilipinas. So, etong House of Representatives, the current number is 275. No? Kasi syempre, may mga bagong lumilitaw na distrito, may mga bagong lumilitaw na pagbabago sa iba't ibang probinsya. Pero the actual number is 250. Pero yung current natin is 275. And kabilang sa House of Representatives, no, there should be a 20% of who must be party list representative. So, hindi na pag sinabing House of Representatives tumatakbo sa bawat distrito. Pero meron silang party list, meron silang partido na kinabibilangan, which is dapat sila ay 20% members doon sa pagiging House of Representatives. And ito na sinabi ko kanina, the 18th Congress has 245 legislative districts with 49 of it allotted to party list representatives. No? So, 49 yung party list in the current situation natin. Pero as I read, 275 yung members ng House of Representatives today. And aside from that, ito naman yung qualifications ng congressman and congresswoman. No? They are elected to 3-year term with 3 consecutive terms. Kung ang senator, meron silang 2 terms with 6 years. Ito namang mga congressman, congresswoman, 3 consecutive terms with 3 years each. So total, 9 years. So sa first term, 3, second term, 3, third term is 3. No? So, ito naman yung criteria. Ano yung qualification para ikaw ay pasado sa pagiging House of Representatives. First, ito na naman, natural born citizen of the Philippines. Second, at least 25 years old. Di ba kaya medyo bata itong mga naging congressman and congresswoman. Able to read and write. No? Except the party list representatives. It is a registered voter and a resident for at least 1 year. So parang paano siya nang pababa siya ng baba? 10 to 1, no? It depends. So kailangan syempre makilala mo yung sasakupan mo or ang yung constituent bago ka syempre maupo bilang isang House of Representatives. So that's the qualification. And then, punta tayo sa party list. So, yun nga sinabi ko sa inyo, dapat 20%. Pero, merong exception, no? So, sa party list representatives, hindi dapat magkaroon ng party list na tumutuon sa religious sector. Bakit? Kasi kung mababasa nyo sa Article 2 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the Declaration of State Policies and Principles, I think that's Article 6, Article 6 or Article 7, no? The separation of the church and the state. No, there should be a separation of the church and state. So dapat walang kasi nga separate na. So wala dapat umextra or umentra na religious sector pagdating sa government. So nililimitahan yung mga party list na gano'n. So syempre yung mga party list dapat more on ano lang siya, community groups, labor, mga representative ng peasants, urban and poor, indigenous culture, women, youth. No? So, yun yung mga applicable by law. Pero syempre, hindi talaga pwede ang religious sector. No? Pero, however, in 2013, the Supreme Court ruled that party list is a system of proportional representation open to various kinds of groups and parties and an exercise exclusive to marginalized sectors. So, syempre, according to the law pa din, no, tinitignan kung talagang pasok doon sa qualification na umentra or magkaroon ng ganitong party list. So, chinecheck pa nila yung naigi. Hindi pwede na magtatayo ka ng sariling party list pwede ka na agad. So, meron pa rin niyang pag-check no, kung ikaw ba talaga ay pwedeng sumali dito. And then, punta tayo ngayon sa powers of legislative department. So, ano yung mga ginagawa or ano yung mga katungkulan, ano yung mga kayang gawin ng legislatura. So, unahin na natin ang the legislative powers. Of course, the first and foremost responsibility of the legislature branch department here in the Philippines, they are responsible for making laws. So, paggawa ng batas. Diba? So, according to Article 6 again, of the 1987 Constitution that the legislative power shall be vested in the Congress of the Philippines. So yun nga, Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. So, ito naman yung pagkakaiba ng dalawa. Ano yung pagkakaiba ng Senate? Ano yung pagkakaiba ng House of Representatives? So, kapag gagawa ng batas, no, unahin natin ang mababang kapulungan, House of Representatives, no? Yung House of Representatives, sila yung nag-i-initiate ng mga batas. Sa kanila nanggagaling yung pinaka, ano yung batas na kailangan pagdating sa isang barangay, sa isang probinsya, sa isang distrito. So, syempre, they initiate all the appropriation, the revenue, the bills, no? Sa kanila nagmumula iyon, no? Samantalang yung Senate naman, sila yung kung sang-ayon yung bill na pinropose ng House of Representatives. So yung senators or the Senate, no, they propose the enactment of laws that are general concern of the country. So pwede din sila mag-initiate, pwede din silang mag-enact ng laws kung ito ba ay approved. Pero yung mga laws na yun ay hindi basta-basta napapatupad. So mamaya i-discuss ko sa inyo ano yung process, no, how the Senate make laws, no, how the Congress make laws, how does a bill becomes a law, no? So yung mga ganung bagay. And then, ayun na nga, bills. So, syempre bago maging isang batas, bills muna yan, no? May stage yan. So, the bills are laws in the making. No? Syempre, kailangan muna ng laws para saan ang batas para saan ito. Ganito, ganyan, no? They pass into law when they are approved by both houses and the president. So, syempre, hindi lang basta approve yan ng legislative, kailangan may abiso din yan ng presidente. Paano naman bumuboto o paano nagiging isang batas ang isang bill? A bill may be vetoed by the president, but the Congress may overturn a presidential veto by garnering a two-third vote. So, i-discuss ko yun sa dulo. No? Ito kasi parang introduction muna to. So, ang bill ay pwedeng i-veto. So, paano pag sinabi ng veto? Pwedeng i-disapprove, pwedeng i-reject ng president ang isang bill or ang isang law in the making na batas kung ito ay hindi sang-ayon ng presidente dito. Pero, kung nireject na ng president, pwede pa rin ito maging batas. Kung halimbawa na pagbobotohan ng Kongreso na may boto dapat na two-third. No, dapat ang Senate, 16 out of 24 bumoto ng yes. House of Representatives, dapat 164 sa kanila, yes. So, pwede pa rin maging batas ang isang bill na nireject ng president. And, if the president does not act on a proposed law submitted by the Congress, it will lapse into law after 30 days of receipt. Halimbawa, nakalimutan ng president na pirmahan ng batas. Halimbawa, hindi pinipirmahan ng batas ng presidente ang batas, no, the enrolled bill, no. Kapag hindi yun napirmahan or nakalimutan na pirmahan yun, within 30 days, magiging batas siya. Na-neglect, nakalimutan, parang ang tagal pag-isipan. So, pag dumaan ng 30 days, hindi siya napirmahan, it still will become a law. No? So, ganun yung policy pagdating sa paggawa ng batas. And then, ito yung sinasabi natin na enrolled bill doctrine. So, pag sinabi natin enrolled bill doctrine, no, it is the doctrine that dictates the signing of the bill by the Speaker of the House and the Senate President. So, syempre, nagkaroon na ng ilang readings, no, nagkaroon na ng processing para maging isang batas ang isang bill. Pirma ng Speaker of the House, pirma ng Senate President. And under this doctrine, once a bill passes a legislative body and is signed into law, the courts assume that all rules of procedure in the enactment process were properly followed. So, pwedeng ideklara ng Supreme Court, ito ba ay constitutional or unconstitutional? Kasi para nga siyang para siyang process, no? Hindi basta-basta mapapatupad ng isang batas hanggat hindi dumadaan sa Kongreso, hanggat di dumadaan sa Supreme Court, at hanggat hindi dumadaan sa President. Kaya nga sila merong check and balance. So, meron silang separate powers. No? So, kagaya yung na-discuss ko nung nakaraan. And then, ito pa yung isang limitation naman ng legislative ng Congress. Na Congress cannot pass irrepealable law. Ibig sabihin, hindi nila pwedeng yung mga nakaka-degrade ng human rights, yung mga nakaka-degrade sa iba't ibang tao. Hindi sila pwedeng, kailangan baguhin to, kailangan taasan yung punishment, kailangan babaan yung punishment, no? Kaya nga nakalagay din dito, Congress cannot enact ex post facto laws or the Bill of Attainder according to Article 3, the Bill of Rights, Section 22 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, di-discuss ko sa inyo, ano ba yung ex post facto laws? Ano yung Bill of Attainder na hindi pwedeng gawin ng Kongreso? So, what is ex post facto laws? So, as we can see na ex post facto laws, no, these are the laws which prohibits the passage of retroactive laws which are prejudicial to the accused. Lagyan natin ng example. Kung halimbawa may isang convicted or criminal, no, it makes, kasi pag nagpasa ka ng ex post facto laws, ang mangyayari niyan, makes a criminal an act done before the passage of the law, and which was innocent when done and punishes such an act. So, halimbawa, guilty yung isang suspect. So, syempre nakulang guilty. Ang mangyayari niyan, yung batas, yung kaso na naipatong sa kanya, no, hindi na siya pwedeng gatungan pa ng greater punishment. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, 2020, nakulong siya, tapos 2021, may naipasang batas related dun sa kaso niya, no, na dadagdagan yung kanyang punishment o ang kanyang parusa. Hindi yun pwede. No? So, kahit, ito nga, kaya nakalagay dito, di ba? Kung mapapasa ka ng batas na nakaka-degrade ng human rights or nakakadagdag ng punishment, no, it may aggravate the crime or it makes greater than it was. So, mas lalala yung kaso, mas lalala yung punishment or yung sentence. When committed, it changes the punishment than the law annexed to the crime when committed. Kaya nga may tinatawag na Latin maxim, nullium crimen nullia pona sine leg. There is no crime if there is no law that punishes it. So, ibig sabihin, walang krimen kung walang law na nagpaparusa dito. Parang tinagalog lang, no? Walang krimen, no, kung wala namang batas na ginawa ang Kongreso, wala namang batas na inapprove, wala namang batas na kinaso. So, ganun yun, no? Kailangan hindi na dapat mas papalalain or mas papatungan pa ng parusa yung mga naunang kaso na napatungan ng parusa. Ibig sabihin nun, huwag mo na pagbigatin pa yung punishment. So, yun yung pinaka-iniiwasan ng legislature kasi hindi na sila pwedeng magpasapaw-sapaw pa ng iba't ibang batas. Kung ito naman ay napanagutan na, kung ito ay nagkaroon na ng sariling batas. So, that is ex post facto laws. You cannot add greater punishment, no? After or before the passage of the law to the criminal when he or she done a crime. So, ganun yun. And then, punta tayo ng Bill of Attainder. So, pag sinabi natin Bill of Attainder, under pa rin siya ng Bill of Rights, no? Section 22. Ito naman, nagbabiolate ng due process. So, kasi kapag sinabi mong Bill of Attainder, kapag ikaw ay kinasuhan sa korte, no, hindi ka nadadaan sa due process. Ibig sabihin, kapag sinabing ikaw ay suspect, ikaw ay ganito, ganyan, diretso kulong ka na agad. No? So, hindi siya dumadaan ng due process. Yung nga, kagaya nun sa writ of habeas corpus, so may similarity sila. Binabiolates ang principle of due process. And such special acts of the legislature as inflict capital punishments upon persons supposed to be guilty of high offenses, such as treason and felony, without any conviction in the ordinary course of judicial proceedings. So, lagi magkakabit yung ex post facto law and the bill of attainder. So, yun yung definition ng dalawa. Tapos, another power ng legislative is the power of appropriation. So, pag sinabi nating power of appropriation, it is all about the power of the purse. So, it involves money. No? So, it involves the treasury or the public funds. No? So, ang Kongreso ay may tungkulin or may kapangyarihan na mag-pass ng appropriation pagdating sa budget. The yearly budget. Pero, meron ding phases or may process itong budget processing. So, una, first step, the budget processing, the budget, of course, the budget preparation, which is initiated by the Department of Budget and Management. No, so, iipunin muna kung magkano yung kailangan na budget sa mga department. Department of Labor and Employment, Department of Tourism, Department of Interior Local Government, no? Yung mga Department of Education, Department of Health. So, titignan muna nila magkano yung kailangan na budget for this year. No? The Department of Budget and Management, syempre, sila yung authority na kailangan dito. Pag yun ay napagsama-sama na, iipunin, isosubmit yun sa Congress. So, ang susunod na step niyan, pag nasubmit na sa Congress, yung second phase na yung nangyayari, the budget authorization phase, no, kung saan i-deliberate na ng Congress yung proposed budget. No? At ang huli niyan, isasabihin na yan sa presidente. Kung i-approve ba ng president yung yearly budget. No? Kung ito ay na-approve, ang mangyayari niyan, budget execution. So, the DBM, the Department of Budget and Management, will now issue programs and guidelines for the release of funds. So, magkano yung kung kailangan, ganito yung mabigay sa department, nagre-release na sila ng program or ng statement, no? Tapos, ang huli ay ang accountability. So, ito na yung pag-produce, ito yung result, no? I-assess na ngayon ng DBM, utilization of government funds. So, ibibigay na yon sa mga departments kung magkano yung bibigay sa kanila. Pagkatapos, pangatlong kapangyarihan ng legislative ay ang power of taxation. So, according to Article 6, Section 28, again, of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, it states that the taxes are the lifeblood of the state, which means the Congress, no, the rule of taxation shall be uniform and equitable. So, na-discuss na rin dapat natin to dati. So, dapat daw progressive taxation, it is equitable. So, kung mataas ang iyong income tax, so kung mataas ang iyong income, so syempre, mataas ang iyong income tax. Kung mababa ang iyong income, mababa ang iyong income tax. So, that is equitable or the progressive taxation. So, the tax rate increases as the tax base increases. So, the greater tax collection from high-wage earners would enable the state to provide for an equitable distribution of wealth. So, yun na yung kagandahan kasi equal pagdating sa tax. Hindi yung mababa yung sahod mo pero mataas yung tax mo. No? So, equal to what you've done in your work. So, ito ang rule of taxation, no? The power of the Congress. And then, aside from that, no, the Congress may not increase the appropriations. So, wala siyang karapatan na i-increase yung budget na pinropose, no, na nirekomenda ng presidente. No? At the same time, according to Section 26, Paragraph 1 of the Article 6 again, that every bill passed by the Congress shall embrace only one subject, which shall be expressed in the title. So, sa paggawa ng batas, dapat syempre pulido, dapat napagdesisyonan na agad, dapat ito agad yung hinain mo. No? Ito mga susunod dito, na-discuss na rin natin to, medyo, lang to, ito yung mga ibang sections, no, para maging example pa din sa inyo, no. So, wala dapat syempreng religious sector pa din. Hindi dapat paglaanan din ng fund, no? Kasi nga, the separation of the church and the state, no, according to Philippine Constitution. And then, the power of impeachment. So, ang may pinakakapangyarihan dito, pagdating sa power of impeachment ay ang Congress, no? According to Article 11 or the accountability of public officials, Section 3, from paragraph 2 to paragraph 5 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, that the House of Representatives has the exclusive power to initiate impeachment cases. So sila lagi yung roots, sila lagi yung pinakauna or sila yung pinaka dapat pag-ugatan ng ganitong issue, the House of Representatives. While according to Article 11, again, of the Accountability of Public Officials, Section 3, Paragraph 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, that the Senate has the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. So the Senate has the power, no, magdedesisyon. Ikaw ba ay dapat i-impeach? Ikaw ba ay dapat makulong due to your crime or the punishment na para sa'yo? So, meron tayong, nabanggit ko na dati, no? 5 tao ang pwedeng ma-impeach. So, una, President, the Vice President, the Supreme Court, Chief Justice, and the 14 Associate Justices, the members of the Constitutional Commission, the Commission on Audit, the Civil Service Commission, and the Commission on Election, and the Ombudsman. So, yung 5, ayan, ang pwedeng ma-impeach. And eto yung mga causes, so bakit impeachable offenses, yung mga offense. So bakit ka nga ba ma-impeach kapag ginawa mo itong mga to? Culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, other high crimes, and the betrayal of public trust. So kung yung mga yan ay ginawa mo, and ikaw ay nasa position, as what I said, the 5 may pwedeng ma-impeach. So, you want to be impeached in your position. So, the Senate and the House of Representatives, no? Medyo makapangyarihan kasi itong legislative department, no? Parang sa tingin ko, among the 3 branches of the government in the Philippines, the legislative department is the most powerful branch in the Philippines. Kasi nga marami, the Senate, the Congress. Tapos, meron pa ring ilang powers. No, ito din naman, related din naman doon. The power of legislative inquiry. So, pag may mga kaso, nagkaroon ng impeachment, hearings. So, dadaan yan sa mga process, dadaan yan sa hearing. So, may kapangyarihan pa rin ang Congress to initiate those hearings. No, sa batas, sa pagboto, kung ito ba ay the 2/3 vote in making of laws, no? And then, ito pa yung ibang powers. So, ito naman, makikita nyo din naman to sa ilang article, sa, sa executive na banggit na rin natin, no? Lalo na yung declaration of war. In the Article 7, the executive branch, Section 2, Paragraph 1, that the Congress has the power to declare war, the martial law. No? So, it depends sa boto kung ilan. Sa election, sila pa din. Kung the power to act as a board of canvassers in election. Kung pwedeng magkaroon ng special election, sila pa rin ang may pamumuno nito. And they are also applicable to a vote. They have the power to judge the president's physical fitness to discharge the latter to the presidency. So kung ito ba ay may disability, hindi na nakayang gampanan ng kanyang tungkulin bilang president. So the Congress, the legislative department is very powerful to handle all these powers. So sila may karapatan sa mga ganyan. And then, others, ito pa nga, as what I explained earlier, martial law, amnesties, na-discuss ko ito dati ng executive branch, nung may kapangyarihan sila dun sa amnesties, hindi basta-basta yun mapapatawad ng president. Kailangan may boto pa rin ng legislative. Treaties, sila ay mga member ng Commission on Appointments sa pagtatalaga ng mga department secretaries, ambassadors, iba't iba pang appointees, no? Sila rin yan, no? Natural resources, constitution. Di ba super powerful ng legislative department in the Philippines? Parang sila na lahat, no? Tagapagbatas, sa impeachment, sa pag-amend ng laws ng constitution, no? Eto na. This is my favorite part, no? The making of law. So, paano nga ba ginagawa ang isang batas? So, let's discover how to make law. So, So the first one, meron tayong kasi, tatlong readings, no, para maging isang batas ang isang bill. So dadaan yan sa tatlong reading. The first reading, ang mangyayari dito, ipopropose ngayon yan ng House of Representatives, no? The title of the bill is being read and then endorsed to the appropriate committee, which may either approve, reject, revise the bill, or recommend the consultations with affected sectors. So, ipepresent muna nila yung bill, the proposed bill. Tapos, kung hindi nagustuhan, pwedeng i-revise, pwedeng i-reject, pwedeng i-approve para dumiretso sa susunod na process. Kung ito ay na-approve, pupunta ngayon yan sa second reading. So, anong ginagawa sa second reading? Magkakaroon na ng debate. Magkakaroon na ng pros and cons kung kayo ba ay approve sa inyo na maging batas ito. No? And then, kung ito ay ma-approve again, it may be printed in its final form. So, ready na yun. Nabasa na, na-revisa na, nasala na siya. And then, the third reading. Ito yung mahaba, no? Ito na, pagbobotohan na ito. So, if it garners the required majority vote, it is forward to the other house where it will again undergo 3 readings. So, the other house, halimbawa, nauna nga lagi di ba sa House of Representatives, kung ito ay nakatatlong reading, nakapasa, pupunta naman na ito ngayon sa Senado. Kung ito ba aprobado ng Senate, dadaan ulit yan sa tatlong reading. So, paulit-ulit lang yung process, no? First, second, third reading, mauuna sa House of Representatives. Yung sunod na tatlong reading sa Senate. So, anong nangyayari naman dito? Ito naman, these 3 readings must be done in 3 separate days, magkakahiwalay, no? Unless it is urgent. So, kung kailangan na ng President ng bansa ang batas na ito, so why not? Gawin agad itong isang law. So, example natin ng urgency, pwede nga isang araw maging batas na yun, no? Emergency such as the war and calamities. Kung it is very urgent, why not make it a law, no? Make it pass. And then, ito na yung in-explain ko kanina, that the president may either approve the bill and sign it or veto the bill and return it to the House of Origin together with objections to the bill. So, kapag veto, sinabi ko sa inyo, no, kailangan communicate nga to ng 30 days. Kailangan mapirmahan ng 30 days ng president unless ito ay hindi maisa sa batas or ito ay magiging isang batas, no? Otherwise, the bill becomes a law if the president has signed it. Kung sila ng president, of course, it will become a law. If it will not signed by the president, syempre, hindi siya magiging batas. Pero kapag lumagpas yung 30 days at hindi napirmahan ng president, it will become a law pa din. Lapse in tulong nga yung tawag doon eh. And, eto nga, na-discuss ko dito, no? And that said, kung ito ay bineto or disapprove ng president ng isang batas, pwede pa rin itong maging isang batas. Very ironic, no? If the bill or the vetoed item is passed by a vote of 2/3 again of all the members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, of course, magiging batas ito. So, parang i-revise, parang thesis lang siya, i-revise, and then approve. So, ganun yung process of making a law. It is very haba din yun ng processing. No? Ilang readings yan? 3 readings again, and then pirma ng president, pagbobotohan pag hindi na-approve or the veto of the law. No? And then, after the making of law, meron tayong bicameral committee. So, etong bicameral committee, nabasa na siya, pumasa na siya ng tatlong readings. Ang mangyayari niyan dito, ang tawag na doon ay enrolled bill. So, pirma na lang ng Senate President, pirma na lang ng Speaker of the House, diretso sa President, and it is being called as the enrolled bill. Ipo-forward na yan sa Office of the President for the final signature. Tapos, eto yun, no, as a summary. How does a bill become a law? Paano nagiging isang batas ang isang proposed bill? So, meron yung tatlo eh. Paano nagiging batas ang isang bill? The president approves the bill. No, pirma niya nandoon, batas na agad. Or the president has the presidential veto, is being reconsidered by 2/3 of all the members. No? Kung ito ay nagpagdesisyonan ng 2/3, batas pa rin yan. No? So, kung ang president naman ay hindi na pirmahan ng 30 days and fails to communicate to the House, magiging batas pa din ito. Ha? So, ganun yung proseso. How does a bill become a law? So, that's the end of our module number 2 in PPG. I hope you learned. Thank you for listening.
Much
That's the
later.
end of video module number 2. See you on our next video.